The children, when, especially when they're little, they are learning 225 times more than the adult. It doesn't mean that they're smarter. It means that they have a greater capacity to learn. And that's the time when they should be, from the birth to 3 years old, they should be eating no junk food. The new research shows that there is more at stake than just health and normal weight when kids are raised on junk food. They are also facing the potential of lower IQs. Wow. Unfortunately, the mirage of convenience and kid appeal in the incessant giant food corporate ads is absorbed by unwitting parents who have never learned about real nutrition for their growing child. It is yet another unfortunate example of the dumbing down of the population. Diets high in fat, sugar, processed foods are lowering children's IQs, new studies suggest. The report says that eating habits among 3-year-olds shape brain performance as they get older. So that is a very crucial time to focus, and not at 3, as they're coming up to 3, as they're coming. I mean, we have, this was on the front page of the Amsterdam News. New York City's high maternal death rates defy usual explanations. We have high maternal death rates, and we also have high child death rates in our community.
Yeah, we really
and it stems from the mother. It stems. So if the mother changes, we can change a whole generation of children. But it's because it's the mothers that have to change. And even another study shows that breastfeeding not only helps the children, but it can help moms stave off diabetes and heart trouble in later life. I thought that breastfeeding was a method of birth control. And by the time I had my 3rd child, I realized that doesn't work. And somebody told me if you breastfeed your child, you won't get pregnant. So here I was breastfeeding my 1st child by the 2nd.
And having a great time.
And I got pregnant.
Oh.
Within a year.
Because it made you more fertile.
It does.
Within a year. And then I started breastfeeding again. I tried it again. Within a year. By the time I had the 3rd child, I said, okay.
This ain't working.
This is not working. Let me try something else.
When I took the parenting class, they said the breastfeeding made you more fertile.
Wow.
Because it kept your body open. It kept your body open. Your hormones flowing very well. It kept your eggs flowing very well. It kept you really healthy. So it made you very fertile.
I have a question. What are your thoughts about the difference between the cost of food that is healthy for you and the cost of food that is not healthy? It seems more accessible for people who are financially challenged to buy that food that is affordable to buy. You know, how do you recommend
How
that
I recommend it is that there's nothing more important than your health, and that there are certain foods that you should always buy organic, such as that those are the ones that are highly sprayed, like strawberries, and I don't eat them, so I can't. I have them here in my book.
So those are the foods that are not encapsulated. You know, like it's okay
Like a
for a
cabbage,
grapefruit or an orange, but it's not okay for something where you would not be taking the skin off to eat.
Right.
That must be organic. If you're not.
You should try to do organic. If you can't, then try to shop local. Try to get as fresh as possible from the I belong to a food co-op, Harlem Farm Share. It's not a food. It's a share. We have to pay all up front, and we give it to some farmers in Pennsylvania, and they grow our food, organic food.
I'd love to know.
And then
See,
they bring it.
these things exist in our community.
And then they bring it to us once a week, and we pick it up once a week. And we have 88 members, and we pick up right here on 116th Street.
I want to be a member.
Wait a minute, they grow your food for you,
Yes,
specifically the
yes,
people that are
they-
in this shareholder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
We buy what they call a share.
Let's find that out.
The cheapest share is $250
For how long?
for the up and from
What season?
May.
Yes.
Like this is May. This week was our first week up until the end of November.
It's like the farmer's market. The farmer's
Yeah.
market, it goes as long as the farmer's market.
Yeah, and that's like the
You know,
harvest
for
time anyway.
People that are financially challenged, and you know, they're not. I
And we
think
give
all of
away,
us here are
we give away
relatively
a couple of
sophisticated.
shares. We give back to the community. And my answer to your question is, it's much more expensive to be sick
Okay, I understand that.
than it is to
But
be
I'm
healthy.
saying, if I'm trying to get that across to someone,
It's not as
I think
sophisticated.
we're relatively sophisticated here, you know, in our thinking, that we understand the connection between healthy eating and long-term health. How do I get this across to someone who is on public assistance, 3 children, never graduated from high school, you know, particular mindset, getting government,
Challenged, yes.
getting government food that is no good for them. You know, how do we help them to, you know, do you have any thoughts about how we help someone we know like that to I know it's going to be a slow turning wheel, but
How can we make it cool?
how can we help them to?
That's a part of it.
That's pretty much it. It's how do you make it
Because when you
cool?
walk in the supermarket and you know your budget is $50 and I gotta feed these 3 kids for the whole month, but I know that organic food is gonna take half my budget, but I know that the food that's not that great for my kid is gonna feed them all month and they're not gonna be hungry. How do I switch from this food to that food and still make sure my kid is not crying?
How do we get them?
That's basically what she's
How do we
asking.
get them?
I think it all depends on, it's like the food, you don't have to buy a can of peas.
Yeah.
Even if you buy frozen peas, even if it's not organic.
Mhm.
A lot of our food is genetically modified and we don't even know it. Like, we should never buy corn unless it's, I mean, it's all genetically modified, it's not even corn. But once they have changed their attitude about food, they're not
Yeah,
going to
I was
change
just
that
asking
fast.
How can you
I-
make it,
when
I
I
think like you
stopped-
said, how do you make it
Yeah.
cool?
When I
How do you want to
stopped
say it
buying-
so you get it clicks into
Yeah,
their
yeah. I'm
When I-
asking how. We already know if they change their mind and all of that.
Well,
I
that's
was
what they
just
have
wondering-
to do first.
I mean, not for
Okay,
nothing.
but,
People
I
who do
was
receive
asking-
public assistance, they get a lot of, I receive public assistance. And they get enough,
Okay,
get
I
enough
used
money.
the word
and,
generally.
yeah.
Okay, so you're not part of the general.
What she's trying to say is
I
you,
think-
some women don't understand it,
Don't
some
get
women
it.
don't get it. They're not,
This was your
their level of understanding is not that high yet.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
saying that
Some women never
out of
gonna
the
get
ordinary,
it.
we sit higher than that, so we get it,
You know,
that
as
you
far
can
as-
buy the frozen peas opposed to the canned peas and it's fresher.
Also, the
Different
food
stuff like that.
the food that we get from the government, where we're getting the government, whatever, the government products, a lot of our problems start there. You know, because we're forced to feed that to our children, and it's not great products, you know. So it's like that machine again.